Now, part 3. After 430 years after Moses was born, and God had selected Moses to lead the children out of Egypt, the symbols had to change. It changed from the, the goat remained the same, which came by Isaac, he who was 100% of the black race. The she-goat turned into another ram, and the bullock, she-heifer, turned into a bullock. Whereby God using two rams, that means two of them going to be born of the same pedigree. They're going to be born of the same pedigree. But Moses would be, some of the bullocks was going to symbolize Moses, because Moses could not go into the promised land because he was a messenger of the covenant. God knew that this man here of the Gentiles was going to create him a law of democracy, and he was going to try to democratize the whole world and try to take away the law that God gave to Moses. And when he did this here, God had to take and not send Moses into the promised land, but Moses had to be slave for that law, and Moses had to come back and be born reincarnated for a third time, spoken of in Malachi chapter 1-3. Now, Exodus, chapter 9, 29-2, 1 bullock and 2 rams. And then it's Levi, 12:8, dove and the young pigeon. He got that 12:8. That's what he told him to make sure they use a dove. And Levi 12:8, they had to get a dove and a young pigeon. Now, I'm going to read this Exodus, Holy Bible. You find this in the Holy Bible. You're not going to find this in no Quran or no other book, no Da Vinci Code. Chapter 29. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto me, to them, to hallow them, to minister unto me. In the priest's office, take 1 bullock and 2 rams without blemish. That means that they had to be without blemish. John the Baptist couldn't have a blemish on him, and because he was going to be born by the spirit of Elijah. And unleavened bread, and I'm gonna stop right there. Stop right there, because that just established, showing you the symbols had to change. The ram stayed the same because they're going to use 1 male and 2 females to connect all these together. I got this in my recordings in my book, showing how this was done. But since this short, I can only show you limited amount. Now, once they finished slave and got on this side of slavery, this was a symbol. But God had to catch one of the 2 of them up to take them up and attach them onto Jesus before he was born. So God had to catch Moses up. This means God gave the Ark of the Covenant. He created another symbol. The bullocks now is no longer 2 rams, and no longer a bullock. To change from the heifer to a bullock, change from a ram, she-goat to a ram, and this ram stayed a ram. Now you got the 3 males that are going to be made the sacrifice of this law called of Moses. So God used this, letting you know they're getting ready to take flight. He came and created the Ark of the Covenant. God had Moses to write the name of all the tribes on the Ark. The Ark became the 12 tribes of Israel. Not one of them. Every last one of them became the curse and the blessings to the earth. Israel was not the own. Israel was the name of the father. But this is the house of Jacob. He had them, so they become the ark, and the law was to be placed in ark, but there was a mercy seat which was to be created, which was going to be Jesus. But he told him to put a cherubim on this end and a cherubim on that end, and have them stretching their wings towards high, meeting each other, and the voice was going to speak from between the cherubims from the mercy seat, above the mercy seat. Well, the bullocks became one of the cherubims, and the other ram, which was the spirit of John the Baptist, became the other cherubim. But the voice which was heard came from on high was the spirit of Jesus Christ, which was the voice of God. Now, one of the cherubim was myself. The other cherubim was myself. We was through time. We was going through a transformation as we change. Now, because we had to go up there and be attached onto the Spirit of God, which was Jesus Christ. Go to Exodus chapter 25, verse 9. According and chapter 25, Exodus chapter 25, God speaking to us in 7. I'm going to start at verse 8. And chapter 25, Exodus chapter 25. And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof. Even so shall you make it. And they shall make an ark of shinten wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the length thereof, and thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without shalt thou overlay it, and shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make stays of shinten wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the stays into the ring by the side of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The stays shall be in the rings of ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. He said, put the ark within the ark of the testimony. This is going to be the law that they want to take and replace with the law of democracy. Place it in there. This would represent the hearts of all 12 tribes of Israel. And thou shalt make a mercy seat. This is what a part. The mercy seat is going to be separate from the ark of the covenant itself. The mercy seat is going to be separate. The mercy seat was going to take place of this lamb. The mercy seat was going to be Jesus Christ, because God was giving him power to have mercy on the whole world and to cleanse them from their sin. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shalt thou make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat, and make 1 cherub on one end, and the other cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Sorry about missing read that. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims, one on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. When you look from one to another and the voice coming out, that means you're a witness to the voice that's coming out. Towards the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubim be, and thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee, and there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim, which are upon the ark of the testimony of all things which I will give thee, and the commandments unto the children of Israel. What this was telling us, God was going to communicate. Not only then, he could communicate at the time in the return of Jesus Christ between the 2 cherubims, which one would become from Elijah, spirit of Elijah, and the other would become from the spirit of Moses. I am the messenger of the covenant, because I live by the spirit of Moses. He's going to attach these onto the mercy. Jesus was going to be the mercy, which is going to be placed over the children of Israel, which would come from Abraham. Now, I would be smitten by the spirit of Moses, and Elijah, which was going to be by John the Baptist. But we had to be slain first. We had to go to the cross and be slain first. So what God did, he caught up Elijah and he caught up Moses. And he caught them up. That's when you see the wings here, the symbols leaving the earth from being treading upon it.